Hey, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us again here on Merchant Service Slayers. If you're joining us on our Facebook page or if you're joining us anywhere else besides our YouTube, please do us a favor. Jump over to YouTube real quick. Go ahead and click like, share, and subscribe. That way we can go ahead and get this information out there in front of more people, spread the word, help out a lot more people that are in our industry, make the industry a better place, right? Today, like I promised you guys last week, what we're going to be covering, since we covered the prospecting pitch in our last video, we're going to be covering today our actual presentation on a set appointment, okay? So you've already set the appointment in this scenario. We're going to go through our steps to the sale, which, you know, the way I do it is a little bit different than some people out there, but that's okay. With our steps to the sale, it's very simple, okay? I break it down into 4 categories. So first off, introduction slash kind of stating an agenda, right? I go into my discovery phase of the sale to where I'm going to ask a ton of questions, which I'll show you exactly how to go through that and what questions to ask here in a second. I go into almost like a green lighting or a gauging of the sale. Presentation is really what I like to call it. I go into presenting my product to them. And at that point, I go into my close, right? And so it's just a 4-step sale, 4-step process that I utilize while I'm out there pitching a merchant, okay? So let's go ahead and get this started off. So first off, I'm walking in there. I have an appointment with Bob over at Bob's Tire. Why is it always got to be a tire shop? But it's Bob at Bob's Tire, right? And I'm walking in there, and I'm like, hey, Bob, thank you so much for meeting with me. Craig again with Go Free Pay. Is there a good place for us to get set up? Now, normally, so you guys know, what I have on me is I have my laptop bag, and I have a notepad, right? And then I obviously have applications, business cards, that sort of deal, okay? So I'm going to kind of paint this picture here in a second for you. We walk somewhere, we sit down, right? As we're sitting there, I'm pulling my laptop out, okay? That's where I have my presentation, is on my laptop. Once I pull my laptop off, I go ahead and got my notepad right there in front of me. I like writing down notes in front of the merchant when I'm answering my discovery questions. I also pull an application out and I set it to the side. I'm left-handed. I put it off to my far left-hand side. I put my business card right there on top of it, okay, with a pen right there. So I get everything out of the way. I like having the application out because it's like kind of putting the elephant in the room, like, hey, look, I'm going to earn your business. It's my start of letting this person know my intention is to sign them up, okay? So now we're going through. I got everything set up. Hey, Bob, thank you again so much for your time. Hey, normally I like to just let you know exactly how these things go. So I'm stating my agenda at this point, right? So what I like to do there, Mr. or Mrs. Merchant or Bob in this example, is first off, I'm going to ask you some questions, learn a little bit about your business, learn a little bit about, you know, your past experiences with credit and debit card processing, your past experiences in business. I'll obviously tell you a little bit about myself, my company. At that point, if you and I feel like we're a good fit to work with each other, like we can communicate well with each other, then we'll go ahead and take a look at the program. Once we take a look at the program, if you and I both feel like it's a good program that's going to work for you, we'll go ahead and take a look at the financial aspect of things. And if it financially makes sense, I'm obviously going to ask you to make a financially sound decision. Is that fair? Right? At that point, 99.9% of the people say, yes, Craig, that is completely fair. Cool. Now, what did I just do there? Me stating the agenda, I'm literally telling them what my steps to the sale are. I'm going to ask them questions. That's my discovery. I'm going to go over my program. Once I go over my program, that's going to be my presentation. I'm going to go over the cost of things, okay? And at that point, I'm going to ask for their business if everything makes sense. I literally just told them my steps to the sale, right? So now we roll into our discovery phase of the sale. Now, normally with discovery, what you want to do is you want to ask the least invasive questions first, okay? Simple things. Who are you processing with? How long have you been with them? Tell me a little bit about your business. You know, not invasive at all. And then lead into more invasive things. We do cash discounting at Go Free Pay, and that's all we do. So these questions are based strongly about building a case for cash discounting, right? They don't know that we're pitching cash discounting just yet. We haven't revealed that, but we're going to build a case. How's the pandemic affected you, right? Since, you know, we've all dealt with COVID. Have you had to raise your pricing with inflation going up? How has inflation went ahead and affected you? When you raised your pricing, if they raised their pricing, when you raised your pricing, did you lose any customers at all? Or did you continue to have the same amount of customers come in? Have you seen your volume increase over the last couple of months? What are your average profit margins, right? We're building all of this information here because later in our close, we're going to utilize this because we know that one of the most common objections is these businesses are afraid of losing customers with it. And so these questions are kind of setting our case. We're setting our case right now for why cash discounting is the best program for them and why they shouldn't be concerned at all about losing a customer. And the few pointed questions that'll show you that is asking them about inflation, how that's affected their business, if they've had to raise their pricing, if they experience, this is the most important one, if they've ever experienced anything negative. Did they lose customers when they raised their pricing in the past, right? You want to ask that question. It's a huge one. Average profit margins is also huge. You want to make sure that you get the average profit margin, because we can math it out for them. We can show them, hey, look, if you have a $10 average ticket, your average profit margin is 50%. Then every $10 that comes into your business is worth $5, but I'm saving you $1,000 a month on your credit card processing by charging your customers. That's right. So which number is bigger? How many customers do you need to lose, right? That's a close that we would use in the future to go ahead and get them on board and overcome that fear that they probably have with cash discounting. That being said, you go through your discovery phase. At that point, I've already wrote down all the answers and stuff like that. Very key to write down all the answers that you're getting, because it shows that I'm engaged with the customer, right? At that point, I'm going to say, hey, Bob, thank you so much for that information. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to lead to my presentation. Now, I have my presentation on my laptop, okay? I have a Mac that I carry around with me everywhere. I flip my Mac around at this point because I already got my presentation up and ready to roll. And then at this point, I'm kind of telling them how cash discounting works a little bit. So I tell them, hey, look, like I told you earlier, Go Free Pay, that's our organization. We don't believe that businesses should have a percentage of their company ripped away from them just for accepting something as simple as a form of payment, right? We don't think that that's fair, and we don't think that you should have to pay it, right? And the other person gets the benefit. They get the frequent flyer miles, they get the rewards, they're getting cash back, they're getting all these things. And what do you get as the business owner? Well, you get 2 to 4% of your company ripped away from you. And not only that, but you also run a 180-day risk of having a chargeback on that transaction, okay? So not only are you paying for someone else's convenience and you're paying for their frequent flyer miles, but you're also going ahead and paying for risk, because it's your risk to accept credit and debit. It's not cash. This individual can call their bank and block it out, right? So we don't think that you should have to do that, and that's why we've developed our flat fee cash discounting program. And at this point, what I have on my comparison, or not my comparison, what I have on my sheet, my very first presentation page, I'll post it later in the group, but our very first presentation page shows multiple receipts. It shows a surcharging receipt, it shows a cash discounting receipt. We do leasing here, so it shows that we have a 48-month warranty on our equipment, which we do, and we back that up all the way. It shows that we just charge a flat dollar amount to you as the business plus tax, obviously, because Uncle Sam's going to take theirs. Huge explanation. We sell a lot of Clover, so it states that the more apps you get, there could be additional fees on there. We literally cover everything. We are super transparent with people. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go line by line on this, and I'll show them, hey, look at the way that we're able to actually go ahead and offset your processing costs and make the majority of it disappear is by pushing the fee back onto the consumer. And there's two ways of doing that, right, in your state, if you can do surcharging. One way is to do it as surcharging, and I point to the surcharging receipt. I explain how surcharging works, how if they have a $10 item, underneath that it's going to show a 40-cent fee, right? And then if someone pays with cash, it'll still show the 40-cent fee, but once you subtotal everything down, it'll subtract it off of there, showing a discount, right? That's surcharging. I go through that explanation. The next thing that I do is I'll jump over and I'll show them the cash discounting one, which we primarily use. We always like to build, if we have inventory, we get them a Clover POS station. We use the piggy bank app is what we call it, to go ahead and build in the processing percentage into their items. That way, if their customers actually pay with cash, they see a cash discount, hence why we call it cash discounting, right? And so they'll see these two options. Now, this is where I kind of greenlight them a little bit. I show them both options of the receipts, and I'll say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Merchant, personally, what I've seen customers do, it's kind of 50-50 in the area. You're not taking tips over here at your tire shop. If you're taking tips, I would suggest going ahead and building it into a line item. But you're not doing that. So either way, it's not going to matter which way you do it. Which way would you like your receipts to look? Would you like it to look like a surcharging receipt, or would you like it to look like the cash discounting receipts? What am I doing right here? I'm now painting a picture for them. I'm trying to get them mentally in the space that they're going to get this product. It's done and dusted, okay? As long as I did my discovery phase of the sale correctly, as long as I did my job properly, I rarely, when I use it this way, rarely get any kickback. Rarely, okay? Every now and then I'll get that. I don't want to charge my customers, blah, 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 blah. But when you pitch it properly and you build your case through your discovery phase, and then you take over that objection from them, like, so you know that you're going to get it, right? Why not go ahead and utilize it to your advantage? you already know all the information, so I know that I'm going to show them these receipts. Then I'm going to let them know that, hey, look, at normally the only concern I get with a program like this, because it's a no-brainer, is XYZ. Businesses get afraid that they're going to lose their customers. Here's why that shouldn't be a concern. Boom, I state logical facts of why that shouldn't be a concern. You've raised your pricing in the past. You didn't lose any customers per what you said earlier. Point to what I wrote down, right? Your average ticket's $10, $20, $50, whatever it is. You have an X profit margin. Technically, you could lose 1,000 customers and it wouldn't even matter, because I'm saving you X amount of money every single month, every single year, reoccurringly for the next 48 months, right? I go through that explanation. And now, after I show all of that and they pick their receipt, my job is pretty much done at this point. I go into suggesting equipment. So I'll flip through my slides where I have like a Clover POS, I have Clover Minis, I have other POS stations as well. But I'm showing them each option and I'm making a suggestion, right? So I'll say, hey, looking at your business and how you're currently set up, you should probably get 2 Clover POSs. And I also have done my research enough on Clovers to know certain applications that are going to apply to certain businesses. So maybe I'll mention that, right? Maybe I'll start throwing a little bit of a cherry on top here and there, right? If it's necessary. If it's not, then I just continue pushing forward. And at that point, I go into a very assumptive close, all right? So I've gotten them to choose the equipment, or I've chosen the equipment or made a suggestion on the equipment. However way I'm perceived, if I'm perceived in this situation as the one that knows it all, as the industry expert, I will help them choose what equipment to get. If they have like that, they want to have that power over me, whatever, if that's their thing, then I'll let them choose the equipment or let them ask me what I suggest. It just depends on the scenario, right? But at this point, I'm saying, hey, great, super easy to actually get you set up with all this. It looks like, we're saving you $48,000 over the term of the agreement. That's awesome. That's a lot of money. It's 50 grand right there back into your pocket just for making a wise decision. Super easy to get set up with this. All I need you to go do is gather a copy of that business license that's right over there. I normally point to it. I'm very animated, right? Go grab a copy of that business license. Go get me a voided check and a driver's license. The voided check's for where you want your funds deposited into, unless you want to write me a check for $1,000. I'll take it. Ha ha ha. But I need that information. While you're gathering that information, and now at this point, I'm putting my hand on the application. I'm going to fill out the application that I have right here, pen in hand now. I'm going to let you go do that while I do this. Typically, what happens is I fill out the app. As long as everything that I've said to you verbally is in writing and it matches, we'll autograph the applications. At that point, it takes me roughly about 3 to 5 days to get the equipment out here, 3 to 5 business days. Once it gets out here, I'll come back up. I'll set everything out for you. We'll get your inventory added in there if you need it. I'll add any employees that you need in there. It's complimentary with our service. And then you're off to the races, man. You're going to save $50,000 over the term of the agreement. So I'll let you go grab that while I fill this out. And again, thank you so much for your vote of confidence. I really do appreciate it. I'll get to work right now for you. Boom, done. That's my script, that's my pitch, that's my presentation, and I do the same thing over and over and over and over again, regardless of the scenario. Now, yes, you're going to get thrown objections and stuff like that, but this is, to me, the most important part of your sale, is that second step, that discovery phase of the sale, okay? The entire thing's important. Every single mechanism in the sales process is very important, but the second step of the sale, to me, the discovery phase, is massive, because that's where I start building my case. That's where I start setting the grounds to make my sale easy, right? And I know that that sounds weird, like you'll get people that still don't want to do cash discounting. The majority of people, when you talk to them, they don't want to do cash discounting anyways. And that's why it's important for you. You have to realize it. The reason why they feel that way is they feel like they're going to lose money. That's it. And so if you build that case against that one argument right there, right from the get-go, then you shouldn't have as many objections when you get near to the end of the sale. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for paying attention to me on this call today. I appreciate everything you guys have done out there, and I appreciate you guys coming on here, watching our content. If you like our content, please do share it out there. Get our name out there. We're really trying to help a lot of people out, and we're trying to help a lot more people make some money out there. This is all I got for you today, guys. Thank you so much again for your time. Get out there, make it happen, and remember, while you're out there in the field, ABC, always be closing. Have a great day, everybody.